Judith Cochrane.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker, and I too welcome the opportunity to speak on the motion today. As a member of the Social Development Committee, I am pleased that our report on fuel poverty has now been published and believe that the recommendations should be implemented. Northern Ireland has the highest rate of fuel poverty in Northern Europe, and therefore I feel DSD really do need to take the lead and work in collaboration with other departments to tackle fuel poverty here once and for all. Fuel poverty has been on the increase in Northern Ireland since 2006, with 61% of older people and 83% of lone older people living in fuel poverty here. And the sub-zero temperatures in 2010 brought the issue to the forefront when we saw how the health of our most vulnerable is at risk when many had to choose between heating and eating. With welfare reform on the way, we must seriously consider the changes that are likely to happen to household incomes that could push more people into fuel poverty as a result. Members have already made mention of many of the recommendations contained within the report, and I would just like to highlight some in particular. Recommendation 35 states that a discussion needs to take place as to whether the winter fuel payment should be paid as a credit to a household's electricity, gas or oil supplier, as opposed to being paid as a cash sum. And like my colleague Mr Durkin, I would certainly recommend that this be considered, as pressure can often be felt, particularly by older people around Christmas time, when they may instead use the payment for gifts when really they need to take care of themselves and keep their house warm. The report also recognises that the eradication of fuel poverty is unlikely to be achieved without the adoption of a long-term strategy. Given the likelihood that fuel prices will continue to rise, we must seek to protect those with the lowest incomes by promoting benefit checks, encouraging energy efficiency within the home and helping people to budget for their fuel payments. Recommendation 36 relates to these issues and states that the advice sector has a significant role to play, not only to educate and encourage people to make their homes more energy efficient or to have their boilers serviced regularly, but also to work with the various energy suppliers to ensure that the advice given to consumers is accurate, consistent and not just marketing for a particular supplier. Of the 500,000 homes using oil, around 400,000 of these have old, inefficient boilers. And whilst I'm glad to see that money has been awarded to the Housing Executive to improve energy efficiency with the boiler replacement scheme, I am disappointed that it would appear that this money has been taken from that which was earmarked for the Green New Deal. I feel this decision locks us into our reliance on fossil fuels, and this needs to be addressed. With global energy prices continuing to rise, we need to enable people to use less energy through energy efficiency measures, as well as moving to sustainable energy sources such as those proposed in the Green New Deal. As far as helping those to pay for their fuel, it's clear that many households using oil have no option but to buy it in small amounts, resulting in them paying substantially more per litre than those who can afford to fill their tank in one go. Just recently, I went to see Carillion's pilot pay-as-you-go oil scheme in action, and I would encourage the Minister to establish a procurement process for a contract to deliver a similar pay-as-you-go oil scheme in order to assist those who simply cannot afford to pay large lump sums for oil in one go. In conclusion, whilst I believe DSD has the main role to play, all other departments have a supportive role, as demonstrated in the departmental responses in the report. I support the establishment of the thematic action groups, which can take forward the various themes and focus on how other departments can take practical steps to reduce and remove fuel poverty. I support the motion before the House today and look forward to seeing the implementation of the Fuel Poverty Report's recommendations. Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker.